Director of Education Programs at the Jamaica National Foundation, Dr. Renee Rattray, is our guest. Yes, so you were telling us about some research on education transformation.
Yeah, I mean, I think wherever you go and find schools that are not performing as best as they can,
yes.
It really comes down to an issue of low expectations, and low expectations all around. Low expectations of teachers for students, of teachers, principals for teachers, of parents, of what the school can do and what their children can do. And there's this acceptance that, you know, this is how the thing's set.
It's true.
And it really is something that in the course of transformation and school improvement is the first thing that has to be broken. This notion of we can do it and that every child has the potential to learn and to improve.
That's the first breakthrough
really
you have to have.
Breakthrough. Because as we get in there, one of the very first things that any school that I go into tells me is that the children, the parents are the problem.
Yes.
It's where them come from.
True.
It is all of those, you know,
those challenges
them
are
all the
real,
time. And they're extremely real. And I mean, I'm in schools every day, so I see how difficult it is. I mean, and the conditions that many teachers have to work in. But I've also seen so many teachers who make those conditions work well for students and make them become great people. And so many Jamaicans, and I've heard you interview many people who have been in situations where they've been completely deprived and in dysfunctional and very challenging circumstances, and yet have come to school and found it to be a place where they have been nurtured, and that there's this one person or this one teacher who believed in them and who made them.
So it's possible for the school to be an oasis of discipline and order in the midst of the chaos and dysfunctionality?
I mean, that's our
possible.
role. Absolutely.
And you know of examples like that?
Oh, for sure. And I see, you know, people every single day who benefit from that, and circumstances that are exactly as you just described. You know, we just have to understand that there has to be a culture shift. Students want structure. They want routines. Absolutely, yes, we all do. We all need a little bit of that in.
We need it, but do they want it?
They do. They don't want to be in an environment. Parents don't want their child to go to a school that anything can happen. Parents want a place, and we think that the parents don't care. It's not true. They want their children to be in a place that is very well managed, and you can tell. I can walk into a school, and in 2 minutes, I can tell you if there's management here or if management is lax. So it is important for routines to be established, and in good schools, in great schools, that's what sets them apart. There are systems and there are procedures. They build the capacity of the people, and they establish procedures. And when you establish procedures and routines, then everybody moves along. A principal could go and not be around. There could be no principal, but if a school has some good systems that have been established and that work over time, that's what, you know, there's some strong traditions in some of the schools that we have in Jamaica today that we consider good schools that keep happening no matter what. I could go back to my alma mater tomorrow and I would see some of the very same things that happened then and that they're still happening now. And many of our schools that are not performing as well need to teach their students what their way of doing things is, because culture is created, culture can be broken, and it can be developed. It has to be a deliberate thing.
What are some of the key things that you try to inculcate when you go into these underperforming schools?
Consistency is one of the key things that we teach. You cannot walk past a boy whose tie is untied and say nothing. Or one teacher can't speak one language and then the next teacher allow another student to get away with something. You have to be on it all the time. There's no time to give people a break, to cut them some slack. If you mean business, you have to mean business. You have to be punctual. You have to start on time. You have to create consequences for actions.
So accountability
has to be there. We have a very serious informal culture that seeps right into our schools, and it is where heads of department, for example, are terrified of reprimanding their teachers. So teachers can come in late 100 times for the year. We don't value learning enough, and we don't treat it as sacred. We don't understand that 10 minutes of every lesson adds up. When you saunter to class, and you don't get there on time, or you take days off, and the students are the ones who suffer in the end, and the students really do not have the time to waste. They are the ones who need it, and some teachers tell students that they have what them have already.
They do
so
that.
This is not about them, right? They tell them that, and I find it grossly unfair. I think that our students deserve our best every day, and they want it. And it's something that we have to work hard to get our teachers to bring their A game to school all the time, and our administrators to hold them to account. We also have to hold our students to account. You know, we have to make them take responsibility for their own learning, and we don't do enough of that. We tend to do everything for them, and we talk to them, and we don't make them become a part of the learning experience so that they enjoy it and they feel empowered to be a part of school and to be proud of the school that they're in, and to want to work hard. When I go to some schools, I'm like, I would never want to be in this place. I would never want to sit in this class with this man or this woman and have them talk to me every day. Yeah. We never engage them and allow them to work together or to come up with ideas on their own. So it really is a shift in culture for us. A lot of our teachers become very demotivated over time because they work hard, and then they feel that they don't see the results. But the teachers have to reinvent themselves as well. You know, they have to be learning all the time, even outside of school, and not waiting for a professional development session to do something. We encourage our teachers in our schools to collaborate, to watch each other teach, to sharpen the saw. You know, surgeons have to watch other surgeons in order to sharpen their craft. Same thing goes for a pilot and a co-pilot. They have to sit next to them and be guided, and I don't find that we do that enough in our space. So what we do is that we take our principals and our middle leaders and senior teachers out to other schools that are performing well. We pair them with leaders who are doing good work in their schools, and we have them shadow them and learn from them and ask them for ideas and call them, because it's hard. I was a principal, so I would have to call enough up myself on some of those great principals who I'd heard of, even my own former principals, and I'd ask them, help me with this. I don't know what I'm doing. And we have to be always learning. And when we model that behavior, I think it becomes easier for teachers to try and to request assistance and to not be as closed. And you know, I'm on a mission to kind of rebrand our profession, and to professionalize the profession. Can I say that? Because it's important for teachers to take this thing seriously and to set real serious goals for themselves and for their students and for the schools.
Very strong admonition as we near the start of the school year. Dr. Renee Rattray is Director of Education Programs at the Jane Foundation, and one of those programs is the iLead program, and an interesting program of intervention with underperforming schools. We thank you for your company on Issues and Answers. Next week, I'll be back. Until then, Ian Bourne wishing you a pleasant day.